and I know each one of you in this room is extremely busy. As far as the school district goes, I believe everyone's excited to get back. Parents probably excited to send their kids back to school. So we're looking forward to that. Today we should have an interesting meeting. I'll let Dr. Gutierrez explain a little bit more about that as we go forward. But I just wanted to come up here and say hi and let you guys know that we're very grateful that you're here. Here you go.
Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon, everybody, and happy summer, whatever remains of it, right? First of all, I want to thank you again for being part of this committee, and your attendance really, really matters to us to continue this momentum of this bond proposal that we're looking at and looking at what we need to do. We've had 2 meetings. This is our 3rd meeting. The first 2 meetings, there was a lot of presentations, and we talked a lot about the bond, and we talked about what we qualified for. We talked a lot about the finances. So we're gonna put that behind us, because now it's time to start looking at facilities. And so what this meeting is about is you have a PowerPoint. We gave you a copy of the PowerPoint where Ms. Lorena Garcia, our Deputy Superintendent, is going to talk to you about each of the campuses. We outlined some areas to look at and some areas that we need to perhaps improve and remodeled and fixed, okay? So, but that's for you to have. What our intent for this meeting is to do a brief presentation, about 15 minutes, about this PowerPoint that you're gonna have. And then after that, we are going to break into 3 groups, 3 vertical, and it's in your name tags, the vertical teams. Because what we wanna do is spend the month of August, starting tomorrow, spend the month of August where you will visit the campuses, schedule visits in the afternoon, and be able to go visit and do walkthroughs. We're gonna have our principals there, we're gonna have our staff there to facilitate those walkthroughs with the committee, because it's time to start looking at that, facilities. You know, like I said, everything about the bond, the finances, the information, we've already talked a lot about that. So it's time now to really get on site, do those walkthroughs, look at what we have and where we need to improve. That PowerPoint gives you ideas of each campus, areas that we've identified with our consultant, as well as what our staff has been also looking at as far as facilities, okay? So it's a good starting point, what you have there when you do those walkthroughs, and then get feedback. And so during the month of August, we may need to go a little bit into September. If we need to, we'll go. It all depends on schedules and everybody making sure that they can fit in within their schedules to make those visits, and then put those reports together, and then come back together as a group like we are now, and then start reporting at the priorities that we are seeing out there, okay? So now it's time to really get on site and make those visits that we need to start making and taking notes as far as our facility needs. Eventually, we'll have also a report for the board of trustees and for this committee, as well as some town hall meetings on some other areas that our consultants are finding or that are identifying as needs, along with what these committees are going to do, and put a comprehensive report together, and then eventually start identifying a priority list of what we need to do. And again, all the priorities will not be able to cover them all, but we're gonna have to set some big time priorities, big ticket items that we need to work on. And that's later on this semester, this coming semester in the fall. All right, so that's pretty much the task for today, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Garcia. She's gonna present for about 15 minutes, and we're gonna break into the 3 vertical teams for the 3 teams will meet to start scheduling on-site visits, and that will be our homework for the entire month of August and maybe perhaps part of September. All right, so Ms. Garcia, thank you all, and again, thank you so much for being here and for being part of this committee. I really appreciate that you're taking the time to get involved in this process. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gutierrez, and welcome everybody. I'd like to first of all start off with letting you know how much we appreciate your time commitment. We understand it is a sacrifice. However, at the end of the day, the goal is to make McAllen ISD better. I also would like to welcome those of you that are with us virtually. We welcome you as well. I'm going to start off with presenting a draft facility needs assessment. And the reason why I'm calling it draft is because the company is still working on those assessments. They have not finished, but they did provide a report of what they have so far by each one of the campuses. And I went ahead and summarized it for you all in the areas that the campus is doing poorly. Okay, I didn't give you like all the good stuff, all the excels and good and fair and so forth, because that we're doing fairly well. You're also gonna find that in some of the campuses, there really isn't a lot to report. In some campuses, they did fairly well. They did good, excellent in a lot of their categories. But most of them, you are gonna see that there are some scores that rated poorly. What kind of things are we gonna find in that report? A lot of it is that you see throughout repetitively are HVAC systems that are in need of repair. There's some roofs that have leaks, currently exhibiting leaks. There's some spatial arrangements, classrooms being too small, special education classrooms, libraries not being according to the standard size. We have some needs in the exterior, such as parking lots. In addition to that, lighting issues, not a lot of natural light, very dim lights. So that's another thing that you're gonna see in this report. Elementaries, some of the elementaries do not have a gymnasium. They use their cafeteria, that doubles as a gymnasium. Performing arts, that's another pressure point, especially in the elementaries. They're too small, they may have converted 2 classrooms to create a space for that, or they're using their cafeteria. So those are some of the things that you will see. I'm gonna start off with the first campus, which is Alvarez Elementary. We see that we have some challenges with technology. Storage is another common one that I saw throughout the district. Inadequate storage, the music room, limited spatial configuration when it comes to the science lab as well as the music room. The stage is located in the gymnasium, and it's less than 50% of their recommended size. We also have some issues with lighting inside the campus. And moving on with Alvarez again, they do their media center, which is their library. That was just 2 classrooms converted into a library, so that presents challenges. The cafeteria is another area that is inadequate size. They do need some updates in their LED lighting. Parking lot should be refurbished. Roof, we have some issues there. Their playground equipment, their outdoor areas, we also need to look at that, and lighting in the parking lots. At Castañeda, the roof is near the end of its useful life. The library does present some leaks. The windows, that's another challenge that we have. They show water staining and evidence of frequent leaking. So again, irrigation is also a consideration that we need to look at Castañeda. At Escandon, the network connectivity needs some improvement. Outdoor areas, they really do not have a lot of developed outdoor areas where children can play. And then the resource rooms, which are our special ed classrooms, they're lacking some storage. Their HVAC system does need to be looked at. And their music room has some challenges, such as the lighting and the location where it's placed. And it is a smaller size than what is recommended. Continuing with Escandon, the school does have 2 stages. One is at the end of the gym, and the other one at the end of the cafeteria. Neither one of them is an inviting area for the performing arts. They do have some difficulty with their acoustics. There's no curtain or lighting. And the administrative area, I don't know if you've been there, it's very cramped. It's in a very awkward location as you walk in, angled, and so forth. So another area to look at. Fields, there's water damage in the PE area gymnasium. It doesn't provide an inviting and stimulating environment. The locker rooms, they have poor ventilation, and they do have a certain smell to it. They do not have too many staff restrooms to accommodate everybody that works there. The parking is a problem, and then the useful life of the roof is near its end, and then there's some drainage issues around the gymnasium area. For Garza Elementary, we're going to want to look at the instructional spaces because they don't have enough electrical outlets. Some of the classrooms still have chalkboards, so that needs to be updated with more digital type equipment, such as projectors and smart boards, and removing those chalkboards. The classrooms have partitions. They take 2 classrooms with a partition in the middle. And what that does is it will transfer noise from one classroom to the other, so that becomes a challenge. The music room is smaller than standard, and that again is it's separated and does not have adequate storage. The clinic is also not of adequate size. Food service area is very small. It does lack adequate space for storage. There's 2 lanes that could provide separate access for the buses and the parent drop-off, but both lanes are located in parking lots. So this is an area, the parent loading zone is small, and then you see some congestion spilling out into the streets. So the site is not adequately fenced because there is some continuity into the area that is shared with the city school park. The gym was built from an existing pavilion, so that provides for water intrusion, and then you can see daylight where the 2 sections were joined together. There's a lot of damage in the storage rooms in the gym because of the leaks, and then the metal restroom partitions are damaged and rusted. As far as ADA, the exits along the gym lead to 6-inch step downs, so that's something we definitely need to address. And there's no drainage around the play courts, so there's quite a bit of erosion in there. At Gonzales, one of the things we noticed right away is that a lot of the classrooms are in portable buildings. The classrooms within the campus are also dated, and the ones in the portables, they have floors that are sagging, and the tile is already cracking. Storage is also an issue. There's no restroom in the pre-kindergarten room. And then self-contained also is lacking storage. That's another one of our special education classrooms. Our resource is located in the portables, and it's a small area with low ceilings. The science room does not have adequate storage for their equipment. Music is also in a portable. It does lack storage, and the administrative spaces are small as well. There's several employees that are sharing very close quarters. 2 counselors share a small office, and this makes it difficult for the counselors to work with the students because of the confidentiality in their conversations. The staff lounge is small, as well as their workroom. And their restrooms, they have 2 staff restrooms for 80 employees. So that's quite a sacrifice. Some pedestrian traffic crosses over to other traffic lanes, and of course the parking is limited. At Hendricks, a fairly recent, a new school for our standards, right? But they do, in kindergarten, they do have to consider that less than half of the classrooms meet the standard size. The science lab is in the middle of kindergarten and the 1st grade hall. Music is in the regular classroom with no acoustical tiles or adequate spatial configuration. And the gym is actually part of the cafeteria. The cafeteria size requires 7 lunch periods to accommodate all of the students. In Sam Houston Elementary, there's very little outdoor space. The self-contained and resource rooms lack storage space. The music room is in the instructional wing of the school, so it provides some noise interference with the rest of the classrooms. They do not have a dedicated gym. It's a shared space with the cafeteria. So parking is also an issue there. And then we have some foundation issues. The western wall between the library and the multipurpose gym and cafeteria. At Jackson Elementary, there's an old wing and a new wing, and the classrooms don't meet the standard size. There is limited storage. Again, kindergarten, they do not meet the standard size. They don't have sinks or water fountains or restrooms in the pre-kindergarten classrooms. That's something also that appears at other elementary classrooms. Music is in a regular classroom. The second space that they were allotted is too small. The roof is also an issue because of leaks. And then the doors are weathered and need to be taken care of. HVAC is a problem. The lights are also dim, and the parking lot needs further lighting. At McAuliffe Elementary, we have limited storage, and they also have the collapsible walls between the two classrooms. The special education are regular education classrooms where a restroom was retrofitted in there, so they weren't specifically made for self-contained. The music room is a converted book room. It's very small and has a very unusual layout. The bathrooms in the gym are in poor shape, and the flooring is pulling in certain places. Storage is very small for their PE equipment, and their cafeteria is small as well. It does have some low ceilings, so it's not very welcoming for the students. And of course, it lacks some storage and equipment. The kitchen is undersized, and their manager's office was converted into a storage closet. Number of access points and student pickup area along the interior open spaces makes supervision a problem. Their roof does need to be replaced, and then their windows do have issues with condensation on warm and humid days. Their controls on their HVAC need to be also addressed because they're unable to drop the temperature below 73 degrees. The gym is leaking, and it is the original roof and has some water damage. At Milam Elementary, our kindergarten classrooms do need more storage and equipment. There are no sinks or restrooms. Most resource space is in the portables. Music is also in a portable. The library is 45% of the standard size. It does require 6 periods in order to feed all of the students. Storage is lacking in the cafeteria, and parking is limited. Perez, it's one of the schools that scored fairly well. Most of their criteria in the report rated either good or excellent. The campus does not have a gym. That is one thing to consider. Rayburn Elementary, their clinic is very small for their enrollment, and then it's adjacent to a city park, own play areas. We do use those during the school day. They are not ADA accessible. Roosevelt, their communication and technology equipment needs some updating. It's located in various spaces throughout the campus. The music room does not have storage, and their roof does need to be replaced. Performing arts, the lighting and sound should be updated, and there's limited parking and parking lights. The playground equipment had been previously removed and planned for replacement, but it has not been replaced. The roof leaks, and there are some skylights, and those are faded and do need some repair. The windows are single paned, and they are exhibiting some fading. The ceiling panels are cracked, and the skylights are discolored. The toilet partitions are rusted in the floor connections and need to be replaced. The cabinetry is old and worn, and we also have movable partition walls that are old and staying in the classrooms. Their boiler is at the end of its useful life cycle, and there is some settlement and some eroded soil. They did see some roof drains that flow over the sidewalk. Sanchez is another campus that scored very well. Their scores range anywhere from good to excellent. They do not have an official gym, and those classes are held in the cafeteria for PE. Seguin, music is in the regular classroom and does not meet the requirements. The computer labs are not the standard size. And then the cafeteria students have to be rerouted because of the awkward shape and design of that area. There is some parking lot issues. The play area, the asphalt surface needs to be repaired before children can play on it. The playground equipment is not accessible to pre-kindergarten and kindergarten. Interior doors are the knob type, and we need to replace those. The gym was built into the existing pavilion as well. This is one of the other schools that has that configuration. And of course, there's leaks and damage as a result of that. The partitions also need to be replaced. Thigpen Zavala also rated very well. Their scores were from between good and fair. However, their music room is located in the general classroom area, 75% of the standard size. At Wilson Elementary, pre-K does not have a bathroom, and self-contained doesn't as well. Science lab is in a portable, and their library does not meet the size standard. Moving on to the middle schools, Brown Middle School, there's limited lighting, natural lighting. Spaces are showing their age, they're worn and dated. Performing arts is an area that they do not have. They don't have currently a stage area. The administrative offices is another area that's very awkwardly designed. Counseling area consists of 4 offices. They don't have a waiting area. They don't have an area for group meetings. And there's no storage. Cathy Middle School, cooling is not balanced across the buildings. Either they're really, really cold or really, really hot. And then the athletic courts have cracks in them. Locker rooms are dated. There's 2 weight rooms, and one is converted into an auto shop and one is in a portable classroom. Paint is peeling and the floors are sagging in these portables. Vehicular traffic, we do have some issues there. There needs to be some updating of the athletic fields. They have portable buildings with, of course, across the entire district. All of the portable buildings, the notation was, the foundation being on blocks. They're settling into the soil, the floors, the roofs, and then the windows. And some that have that, they have issues as well. De Leon Middle School, there are no restrooms or changing areas in the self-contained classrooms. The stage is in the cafeteria, not in an auditorium. Their resource room is in the 7th grade hallway, making transition times for 6th and 8th grades longer. There's no storage for the program supplies, and they have aged science cabinets and counters. Fossum Middle School, their internet is slow. Our room does not meet the standard size, and the school does not have a separate auditorium. The stage is also in the cafeteria. Lighting needs to be improved, and their play court areas have deteriorated. They do have some heating and cooling issues, and of course, insufficient parking. Morris Middle School, no built-in storage. Self-contained classroom, it also has some concerns with storage. Music, the walls have been peeling. Choir and orchestra rooms, mold formed on uniforms and instruments, causing them unusable because of the HVAC. So those had to be disposed. Original artwork has been converted, art room converted to science. Art is now in a portable. Stage is in the cafeteria. Parking is inadequate. Worn and rusted hallway lockers. Old toilet partitions, worn countertops, science room. These are some notes on the classrooms. And then the walls are covered in old wood panels. They do not have a competition track. Travis Middle School, music rooms, a library, there's supervision challenges. The windows are cracked and leak. Art room ceiling is heavily damaged with roof issues. They do need LED lighting updates, and the roof on the gym is due for replacement. Heating units are not working, and then wood-covered walls are an issue. Travis, climate control is uneven throughout the building. IT is removed from the main building. It is an older facility, so it doesn't accommodate a lot of differentiated instruction. The art room did not meet the standard size, and it does not have enough storage. No separate performing art space in the school. They do have a cafetorium. At Achieve Early College High School, the store type doors need to be replaced. They do have lockers in their walls, so those need to be removed. The bleachers are an issue. Those need to be replaced or updated. LED lightings is needed. Their IT infrastructure, we need to look at that as well. Lamar Academy, they do not have a lot of flexibility in terms of their learning spaces. There's no restrooms that are connected with performing arts. Stage has a curtain lights, but no dressing area and no storage. They do have some gym showers and lockers, but their gym isn't really used for PE. It's used for testing. Clinic is not located in the administrative area, so it makes supervision a challenge at times. Mac High had several slides, so I'm not going to read everything for you, but as you can see, there was quite a bit of things on there. Electrical, technology, HVAC, and then, of course, in the performing arts, the CTE area as well. Another concern, all of their portables, computer labs, their library. It was an area of concern. Administrative areas are split between the main hall. There's a lack of ease of supervision because of the way the building is designed, and then those bump out walls. We have those at Achieve Early College as well. And then vocational shop floors could, do with some improvement. A lot of concern to the vocational area. The AEP building is another one. The elevator is tiny. It does not meet ADA requirements. Memorial High School has extremely long hallways. Interior is not inviting. There's very limited number of windows throughout the building. Music rooms are worn out and dated, do not contain 21st century learning characteristics, very limited storage, not enough restrooms for a school that size. They are dated, their fixtures. There's one lounge for 280 staff. Due to the number of buses, there's not sufficient parking on site, and consequently, buses are parking on the street, which causes traffic issues. Rowe High School, fairly good condition. Their scores were mostly good or fair. Wi-Fi is an issue, and then, of course, parking lots, potholes, we need to look at that. Okay, so those were the schools, the reports that we have, and like I said, the report is not complete. Let me see. Yes. And now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the process for the walkthroughs. These are the vertical teams and the campuses that are assigned to each one of the vertical teams. And on your tag, you're going to see what vertical team you belong to. We went ahead and created a schedule with, we have 6 different visits on each day, 2 per vertical team. So those of you, we hope that everybody is able to participate. If those times don't work for you and you need to set up a special appointment and you'd like a walkthrough to a specific school, or you'd like to walk a school that's not on your vertical team, please let us know because we can accommodate a special site visit individualized. But these are the schedules that we're suggesting that we follow. And we will go over those in our breakout teams right now. So once the site visits are complete, we are going to ask you to scan the QR code, and this would be over the next coming weeks. After you complete a site visit at a campus, you would scan that code, and it would take you to an online survey where you provide feedback on what you saw. So that's how we will collect your information. Does anybody have any questions at this time? Yes, ma'am.
At Cheverly College, you're talking about the gym. Is that the gym that's originally there when Lincoln Middle School was there?
Yes, the original one.
So what happens to that new gym that was built? Because I remember I was working there when that
That
new
one
build-
right now is currently not in use. We are working on repairing the HVAC so that we can bring it back online. But that one is in very good condition, actually. It's probably the newer gym from the middle schools.
Yes, because I used to work there when it was built.
The AC is working, and the floor's been revarnished, and the bleachers are getting repaired along with the basketball goals.
So we're hoping to put that back into circulation very soon. Did I see another question over here?
McAllen ISD input, or is this just the consultants?
This is just the consultants, and it's a small portion of the report that they will provide. Because remember, they're going to provide a report on technology readiness, on capacity and utilization, educational adequacy, facility conditions. So this is just a fraction of the data that they're going to provide us. This was as a result of the walkthroughs that they did, and we accompanied them. We spent several hours at every campus looking at every nook and cranny. And then in addition, we had another walkthrough that was being done by Half Engineering, and that one's not complete yet. They're still entering that information into the report. That's why in some cases you see HVAC information, in some cases you don't.
So are we to expect a supplemental report?
Yes, sir.
That adds to this
At
scope?
the end of the process, they will provide us with a full report, and then we'll present it to you all as well as our Board of Trustees.
So if we see another list like this, it's going to expand per campus of MISD input and feedback.
Yes.
And all of this is just a starting point.
Yes, sir.
When you go out there, you get an idea of what some of the needs already happening in the remaining of buildings. But it's just a starting point, so when you visit the campuses, you're gonna find a lot of more things in there.
Mr. Shazel.
You get the idea of what they're looking for and what you need.
Who is the consultant that,
It's
prepared this?
MGT consultant. They actually worked with the district previously. They did the last assessment in 2018. They were actually, when we went ahead and looked at the several firms, we had about 5 or 6 companies submit a proposal, range anywhere from $300,000 to $1 million. They were on the $300,000 side, so they were the most qualified and the better pricing option. They are out of Florida. And
They're very familiar with McAllen ISD because they've done it before in 2018, and then they came down again just before we left for the school year. They were here also visiting with us, all the buildings. They have a lot of our information from past years, and now we're updating it because, as you know, everything deteriorates with time, and everything changes with time. And so now it's time to update it along with our own list, and Mr. Ruben Trevino from facilities. We're also embedding what we know, and we know our buildings better than anybody else, what we also need, along what you all are gonna see when you make those visits.
so there wasn't a consulting firm in the Texas area, or there were, you just decided to go with them because they were more qualified they were economically feasible, they
Correct.
were experienced, they had done some work with McAllen ISD before, and had any other consultant companies worked with the district that applied or requested to be
Yes,
reviewed?
in some form or fashion, not specifically in this line of work, but they had worked with us in architectural design services. They are partnering with Half Engineering, which is a local engineering firm. But Half is only handling the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing portion of this work. Yes, sir.
Food service area, lack of area in the kitchen area slash their for the cafeteria. I understand that for the food service, that funding is federal funding. Are they not responsible to purchase equipment slash increasing their own square footage and not taking that money from the campuses? Or help me with that.
They can purchase equipment, however, construction services, they cannot purchase that. That we have to pay for out of local. We did do some kitchen renovations when we had the ESSER funding, and that was federal.
Okay.
And
so-
those were complete, but not all of the schools were
Okay.
completed.
Okay, I was just thinking because if we can get the federal government to pay.
For the equipment, yes, we
some
can,
of-
we
some
can
of that-
certainly leverage that.
Some of that construction, then we can shift some of that money into the other needs within the campus's parking lot, lighting, et cetera. But my second question is, we also have, I see just as a lot of, we lack playground areas, playground equipment, insufficient watering, landscaping. I mentioned before that we have a interlocal agreement with the city of McAllen. I call them the big drainage ditches, Morris, McAuliffe, those large soccer fields, we call them in the day. The agreement was that the city of McAllen was to maintain, service, supply all of the playground equipment, accessibility and replacement of all of the playground. That was in the MOU. That I'll never forget, because that was the deal we made. We give you the land, you dig your holes, but you maintain all of the playground facilities, no questions asked. So when I see that the school campuses do not have insufficient playgrounds and the ADA and the children can't get to it, that concerns me, because that was not the deal we made. But that's just
Ruben?
my recollection.
Yeah, that's something that we don't want to include in the bond. We don't want to include it in the bond because we have maybe researched that MOU,
Yes, sir.
Memorandum of Understanding with the city. By all means, we'll do that.
Well,
Uh,
and I only bring it up because I want to make sure that if they are supposed to pay for that, then we can take that funding and put it into
Something else.
into something else that the teachers and the campuses really need. Well, they need it, but we could use it in the campuses,
Yeah.
the roof, the HVAC,
Yeah.
et cetera.
We'll look into that, and that's part of our homework, to
Okay.
do that.
That was
So-
it, thank you.
Yeah, and just another one, you brought a good point on the cafeteria, that we can only do the construction phase. We can pay with equipment for the federal funds from the cafeteria. The same thing applies for career technical education. If we decide to build a CTE building for the whole district, like a centralized one, we can build the building with a bond, and then CTE funds can pay for all the equipment of that building, like auto mechanics, the pharmacy, whatever we need to have in that building as far as equipment and furniture can come out of the CTE funds. So those two, they can provide all the equipment, cafeteria and CTE. But without further ado, let's break into group.
We're ready to go into groups. We're gonna go ahead and have those of you that on your tag it says MAC High Vertical Team stay in this area, and then those that say Memorial, we will meet in this room over here. I have Memorial. The Memorial will follow me to this room, and then Nikki Rowe will be in this room adjacent, right here on the left-hand side. Okay, Nikki Rowe will follow Miss Nino.
Go back to the meetings, yeah, there, that will work.
How do they join their?
Well, they
They'll just stay with Mackay?
They can stay with Mackay. They'll just follow the
Yeah, and they can be watching this.
The Mackay. But they'll stay to talk to the Mackay people.
Those that are watching online, you can stay with the Mackay vertical team, and you will be able to join in the conversation with us.
I'm gonna pass this out.
They put the names there. They can put who's gonna wear that in there.
They can unmute and join and talk as needed.
Yes, or okay. Mackay group? Where's the purple group? Yeah, let's move closer. So, first of all, good afternoon. And I want to pass out the list of names and to check your phone numbers, because I want to create a chat so that we can discuss and see when we're meeting and all that. This is the recommended schedule, so I'm going to pass it here. So just check for your name and your phone number and see if we have the right phone. So what we're going to do is, this is the schedule for the meetings. Let's go day by day and see if this works for you. Now, if it works for the majority of the group, then we keep it. We keep that date and that time. If the majority of the group can't meet on that day, then we'll look for another day and another time to meet. It is recommended that we go after 5 o'clock, because at some of these times, teachers are going to be having staff development, principals are going to be busy, and as you can see, some of the principals are here, part of the committee, and we also expect that when we get to the campus principal does the walk with us as well. So we want to go at a time that they're not busy with their staff or their students. As you can see, some of the other dates that we are projected or scheduled to go. So let's start with the first day, which is Tuesday, August 5th, which is next week. So we are scheduled to be at McAuliffe Elementary, right? No, I'm going to Mackay. Milam and McAllen High School. So we're projected to be there starting at 6 at Milam, and then once we finish and take our notes, do our observation, we can then go to McAllen High School. So I guess we'll start with that. Dr. Canales, show of hands. Yes, you have a question first? Well, give or take, and that's why we left the high school for after, because if we need to stay there to 8:15, depending and respecting the time of everyone, we can. The other thing that we can do is we can divide into groups, and 2 or 3 people go and see the CT building, or 2 or 3 people go and see the fine arts, and so on and so forth, and we then collect what we observe. Okay, we're a big group. I think we can divide into several teams. I don't.
I have a question before I answer that. What are you expecting from us after the walk?
Yes, your observation, what you see the need.
I mean,
Of renovation.
I don't know how much weight you're gonna put to that.
Without this, or do we need to use?
However many hours you suggest.
Okay. Because we are also joined by our virtual attendees, we do need to use the mic. So when you speak, I'll give it to you all. Okay, so the question was, what is the expectation when we go visit the campuses? Is to observe and collect the need that we see at the campus. What do we see that they need to remodel, or what maybe build, or what do we need to connect between maybe one building to another one? And based on the needs of the campus, that's what we expect from everyone going. Okay?
They have really low ceilings. So I'm not sure they even put that on there, right? They probably didn't. So when they have really low ceilings, and you have 2,200 kids walking the hallways, this lighting here turns real dim. Like it just turns and you don't know it until you really think, like you really live it, and you're like, oh wow, that's the way it is. But once you've been there for 2 months or 3 months, out of sight, out of mind. You don't know, you don't see, but y'all that are going to go in and look at that, just pay attention to those. I think those things that you will notice. You won't see the dimming because there's no kids in there, but you see how low those ceilings are, right? So I think it's just your honest opinion of what you all see at every single campus as you're walking through there, because you might catch them that they didn't catch, right? They see so many schools and think, okay, that's not really a biggie, but it could be a big deal for our parents or our community. Walk in and say, hey, we want some new, we want. I don't know. They said remove the lockers. Maybe we want lockers removed and want nice wall space. They might say, well, what's wrong with leaving them there? But y'all might say, we don't want that in there. We want our kids to have a nice open space, so kids have a bigger hallway or bigger areas. So those are just kind of things you want to think about.
Another thing is, while I might not go through every single, suggestion inputted on the Excel spreadsheet that fed this, if there is more information on the particular campuses that I'm going to walk, I would like to read everything, because if this is the list that's going to eventually impact where the funds are going to get allocated, I think I personally would want to review those lists in detail for the campuses where I'm going to do the walkthrough.
And you do have it in your packet, and that's it's partial lists, because that's what we have up to now. But as we get more added to that list, and even through the walks that we're going to do, that list is going to increase, right? And it's so in our next meeting, we're going to bring all the list and share out, and anything we get from the company also. Okay.
Well, I mentioned it because I understood that there is a more extensive list from which this was extrapolated.
Right, but you will get it by the next meeting.
Yeah, and they definitely want all the input that you're all going to give us. We can add to that list as well. I mean, it's important that we have community input, that you all see things as well as what they saw, right? Because you might see something different, or you might say, we saw that list is true. Like, we need to do those items, right? So it's also a checks and also kind of like a checks and balance. If they say we need this, you're saying, well, I walked through, I didn't see what they're talking about. Like, where's that at?
Correct.
Right, and then Ms. Freeland could probably tell you, okay, well, this is what they're talking about, right? So
Yes,
it's a checks and balancing as well.
Yes, definitely, because we're reporting to the community what the company saw, but we want to see it from ourselves, with our own eyes, right? Oh, yeah, they do need roofing, or the lighting needs to be updated. So you're kind of verifying that list and even adding to the list.
Correct.
Okay. Great conversations. Do we have any questions? No? Okay. Do we have any other questions? If not, we can go and
I think the
start
only thing they
looking
agreed
at the
upon is they
dates.
want to be all together visiting and not breaking up, is what I understand, but from the consensus.
They don't want to break
No,
up?
yeah, they want to be together when they go through the building with Ms. Freeland.
Great, okay. Okay, so, the first day, next Tuesday. Show of hands if you can make it to the 6 o'clock at Milam. And like I said, I will create a chat and then I'll know exactly who I'm expecting. But just so that we can know that we're good with the date and the time. McAllen High School at 7 o'clock next Tuesday. Awesome. So then Tuesday, it's a go. Let's go on to Wednesday. Rayburn Elementary at 6 p.m.
I have a concern with Wednesday, Dr. Barrios.
Okay?
Because that's the day before kids come, and there's gonna be teachers working late, and there's gonna be a lot of anxiety at my school when y'all are coming in, or we're all coming in at 7 o'clock, because I will still have teachers trying to get last minute ready at 6 or 7 o'clock that night. And
Okay.
I just don't think it puts our staff in a good spot to tour schools the night before the kids come.
It's noted. So if we need to reschedule, we'll reschedule. We can go then to the following week after the 20th. Maybe we can look at, see if we have a board meeting on Tuesday, Dr. Canales? Because we don't want to schedule anything that it's, no, I'm talking about after the 20th. The Tuesday after, can you help me? Okay, she'll look at what day we don't have a board meeting. If not, we can schedule a Tuesday or Wednesday. We're staying away from Thursday and obviously Monday and Friday because Thursday and Friday is their games, and then Monday's usually not a good day to go. So we're going on Tuesday or Wednesday. So if we have a Tuesday that we don't have a board meeting, we can schedule the Rayburn and Morris visit there. Okay, now Thursday, which is the first day of school, but it's at 6 p.m. Are we good with Fields Elementary at 6? And we're looking for majority, right? If one of you can make it, it's fine. Travis Middle School at 7. Okay, so that date stays. Tuesday, August 19th. Perez at 6 p.m. Achieve Early College High School at 7. Okay, that one stays. And then Wednesday, August 20th. TC Elementary at 6. And then Wilson Elementary at 7. Okay, very good. Do we have a day? August 26th, we do have a board. Okay, what about the 27th? The 27th. And Meet the Teacher, Ms. Tanguma, when is Meet the Teacher for elementary? It's not the 20? It's the 12th, okay. So the 20, let's then look at Wednesday, the August the 26th. 27? But Wednesday is the 27th. Wednesday, August 27th then. Are we good for Wednesday, August 27th? 6 for Rayburn, 6 p.m. at Rayburn, and then 7 p.m. at Morris. We're good? Okay, so then we selected our dates.
What date was that? I'm sorry.
Wednesday, August 27th. Okay, so just scratch where it says August 13th and put 27th. Okay? I'll revise this. I'll send it off to our chat. Do you mind if I send it as a text, or do you prefer I use WhatsApp? Text? We'll do a text then. So the telephone, it's over here. Did everybody check their phone? It hasn't gone around? You got it? Are the phone numbers correct? Did you all check? Okay, okay, I'll take it. Thank you, doctor. Okay, here you go. Oy, go ahead. Okay, so then we're set for the dates, the times. For our online Attendees, we're good. Can they also let us know, well, I need to check their phone number so that I can include them with us. Okay? Can you message them individually? Okay, awesome. So then we're set. We'll meet at that time. The first school is Milam at 6. Next Tuesday, we'll meet there, and I'll have, I'll have some notepads and something to write with. You can write it that way. If you want to use your device, your phone, you can take notes, and then you can always upload it to the Google sheet that is on the Scan Me. I'll have that QR code with me, and that way I'll share it with you. If you want to already input it as you're walking, you're good to go. If not, I'll have some notepads for you. Anything else that you think you might need? We gave all of our shoes on back to school bash. As I understand it, we're adding to the list of campus, right? And then the next step will be guided by the department.
And so we have a lot of people that will be walking through different personal biases and priorities or whatever. So how are you going to take that? Are you going to do a general, well, there's lots of issues?
I'm sure that the next step is prioritize the greatest needs, and then we're going to go by that. I know that the company is also guiding us on what is the best way to compile the list and go with the priorities so that we can arrive to a project list, right? That's the end goal.
So are you going to take all of our different points and just do it the general, like one item is ceiling and another is restrooms? And I'm just trying to understand your thought process to take, how you're going to organize it, not organize it.
And I'm just going on my belief, because that will be a good question to ask the company and the team that is helping us organize this. I believe that we will compile the list and go with, if people are mentioning ceiling and there's 10 people talking about ceiling for one way or the other, then we categorize that as probably one of the priorities, because 10 out of 20 submissions talked about the ceiling. So then we will include that as one of the priorities. And then the other part is we will be putting a price to that project, and then also compile how much it's going to cost us, right? And then we'll go into, well, this is how much we can afford, and what are the projects that we can afford with that amount. Good question. Anything else? You're good? Okay. So like Ms. Freeland says, bring your walking shoes on Tuesday. Yes. Okay.
And also, there's a couple that couldn't make it. I mean, like, we can get you at another time for that same campus. That way you have the opportunity to make that campus. So we'll make arrangements for that. Let them know, I couldn't make it to Milam this day, but I can make it on this day. Is the principal good? And then we'll go schedule the walkthrough.
Expenditures already. So are we doing that and being, anal with that the carpet's, coming up a little bit here? Because I saw a lot of that. It seemed to me like annual capital expenditures. And then the big ticket items were the portables, the gyms, things like that. And to an earlier point, 45 minutes, I can be really detailed. And it's going to take me a long time. And so I don't know if to your point, Dr. De Hoy, I mean, we're compiling everything and then they're going to sort everything out. Like, the paint job in classroom 22 was, doesn't need to be done right now. They're going to do all that, or would they give us guidance to say focus in on structural, roof, major items that would encompass the $160 million? I mean, and then the other point this man made, I don't want to address something that could be covered by federal funds either.
Right. And when let me just address this because then I'll forget it. I know I was part of some of the walks with the company, and they were looking at everything, and then they were talking to staff members, right? And so if a staff member, let's say they will go into a classroom and they say, okay, what is interfering with the instruction here in this classroom? Well, they will mention the lighting. Well, they mention the air conditioning is very loud. They mention that, well, it gets very hot. The air conditioning is constantly breaking down or whatever. So they were looking at everything and they were putting it in the list. I believe that the next level of work is they're going to categorize the priorities, right? If big ticket items, yes, but we also can probably have a list of projects that we can't pay with federal funds or we can't pay with CTE funds, right? And those are those smaller projects that you want to have a list of both, because when you're trying to ensure that you can cover so many projects, you're going to need some of the smaller projects as well in order to be able to say, okay, we completed at least 5 of the 20 here at Travis Middle School, right? And not only ticket items. Now, if you want to go through that lens of saying, I'm just gonna look at big ticket items, do it. And that's your contribution to that list. But if someone else wants to say, no, I'm gonna go in to see the carpet, I'm gonna see this, I'm gonna look at the cracks on the walls, that's your contribution to that list, right? Now, what I am going to do, I am going to ask for more guidance, and then on Tuesday, I will give you more guidance. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
I think the biggest thing is big ticket items, because it's gonna go, it seems like a lot of money, but we all know that thing goes pretty fast, right? So, and then they don't all want to spend it all on, okay, it's gonna be only at this certain campus, which might have the most needs, but you also got to kind of spread to see what else we need. Like you might say we need a CT center, we need a fine arts building, we need, that also takes priorities on what we're going to do as well. And the small ticket items like the painting and stuff like that, our crews can do that as well. I know they're trying to keep up with all that stuff, so I know they're going in there, they're painting, they're keeping up, and it's just having that to do those kind of things.
I think you brought up a good point about what is not like something that's visible and something that's you can't really like. Let's say, for example, there's constant carpet issues. More than likely, there's either moisture or something, a bigger problem than just that carpet, right? So sometimes just a superficial stuff could actually be like major costs. For me, in my area, which I deal with infrastructure and all the connectivity, it's really hard for people to understand how. So I'm going to provide heat maps for our wireless environment for every single campus. And some of the issues that we have as far as how the building was built, how we have certain limitations right now with the certain solutions that we have in place, and create ROIs for you guys, for my leadership and for the community to understand. This is the phased approach that we can do. This would be the turnkey solution for us to fix that like tomorrow, right? If we had the funds. We also are able to leverage funding from E-rate, which is it's a federal grant that we leverage in the district. So we'll take that into consideration like, okay, well, we only get funded every 5-year cycle. In this 5 years, what am I gonna tackle to address a lot of the concerns that the district has as far as infrastructure? And the type of things that would complement that, even though I'm spending it and saving money, what other overlays do I need to fix a lot of the issues that I can't fix right now? So we'll all be working in consensus on what we're seeing, the challenges that we have, and why we have them, right?
I'm curious about something. So as we've gone through this process to evaluate, what we see is important. Is there an existing list where McAllen ISD always has a budget item for these kind of yearly maintenance items that are currently here, and you can call out, Dr. Canales, say, this is already on that list, don't worry about that, it's already covered? Or when will we get that list so that the entire group effort here understands that throughout the district, these items are already identified? Is that going to be part of this process so we don't have to worry about it?
For sure, we can work with Ruben on that. So I know he has a list of all the stuff that, like, if we're gonna do a replacement for an AC, we have those on cycles. Replacement for buses, replacement for vehicles, replacement for police vehicles. Those are all on different cycles that we have, that he has on there. Some of them are probably gonna be multiple ticket items. If one went out that's bad, but it was on the replacement schedule, then we gotta replace that AC. So it's probably gonna be for those items. That's what I would think.
Okay.
I'm not sure though. I don't wanna speak for Ruben, but I do know that he does have a replacement item for everything in our district that is a big ticket item like that. For
Like,
sure.
like these ceiling tiles, whatever, is there like at the campus level, something that's already being budgeted for? So I could see 20 tiles that are just, they're staining or whatever it is. Is that already budgeted for, so we don't have to call that out? Or do we still call it
Correct.
out? Is I guess the question too.
No, those are budget items for it.
Okay.
They are.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just call it out again, then and you can let us know. Yeah. Right, exactly. Exactly.
If you walk into a school, you should see like, how would you want to entice students or parents to come in, and how they're gonna feel?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Okay, thank you for clarifying.
No, absolutely.
Right, I want to feel the same pride you do, or the same need you do, every day when you walk into the campus. Like this needs to be replaced, right? But if I don't have a baseline, you know, your level setting for me what you think is important. Yeah, and that's what I need. I need a level set so I understand what is critical to you and your staff, so that I can be on board with it and we can carry the message forward. Otherwise, I'm like, this looks like from 1993. This is how it was. It is what it is, right? So I just need a frame of reference so I can be an advocate for you too.
I ask the whole committee when you do come into the campuses, please do listen to the principals when they walk with you, because we're walking at 7 o'clock. You are not going to feel the same AC issues that we feel with 1,000 kids in the hallway. You're not going to feel, it's not going to be anything like that. You're not going to, the lighting's going to be really bad already because it's going to be dark outside. Like at Morris, we have skylights. And so if it's cloudy, it's really dark in the building. You're not going to experience that. It's just going to look dark. The noise levels you're not going to get at all, because there's not going to be, again, 1,000 children running through the building. So please listen to our principals too as we go through.
No, I was asking, why can't we do it like maybe at 5 or 5:30? I know that the teachers are still going to be there, but just so that we can have.
And you know, they need to get their children, or they need to get dinner or whatever. I know that we discussed that, and we are willing to even make it 30 minutes earlier, 5:30, if that's what do you think? Committee, 5:30, or do we leave it at 6? Show of hands.
Show of hands for
But 5:30, can everybody make it at 5:30 earlier? That way maybe we can, 5:30? I can bring sandwiches. Which meet? Oh, it's with me. I can change it. It's with me. We can end at 5. Thank you. What day do you want to bring dinner? What day do you want?
And
You don't have to, but if you want to start at 5:30, we can start at 5:30.
I have another question. So, for example, I'm familiar with fields, right? And I see that the AC or HVAC was not a problem, right? For whomever did the walkthrough, right?
Yes, for the
But
company.
for example, I know like in my classroom last year, you were either freezing, and when I tell you freezing, it was 59 degrees, or it was 80, right? There was no in between. So I would tell the kids, bring your coats because there's no way we're going to be able to do this at 80 degrees. But, you know, as well, you cannot do it. And so it went to FMO, and what Ruben said was exactly that. Well, you know, it's on a cycle, and so it's not going to get fixed. So that room, you're either freezing or you're not. Like, you're burning up or you're hot. You're burning up or you're cold. So in that scenario, like, what can be done? Like, do we just put it on there?
You add it.
And I'll show you guys the room when
And
we
you
go to
say
field.
room 153 or whatever. You note it. Yes, definitely.
I think
And it could have been that when the group went, it was wonderful and nobody mentioned it, right? But you know, you've been there. And that's what you're going to find when you're visiting these campuses. That's why Ms. Bechtel says, listen to the principal. They've been there, right? And that's why it's required that the principal walks with you because they know the needs already, okay? They're telling us that we have 2 more minutes, but, and people are hungry, so who wants to buy dinner? No, I'm joking. Okay, so do we move them all at 5:30? And then we start the other one hopefully around 6:30? That way we'll finish earlier?
It's tough over here. You're good? Yeah.
Sounds good? Okay, I'll revise the schedule. I'll move all the 6 to 5:30 and all the 7 to 6:30, give or take. If we need to stay longer at the elementary or the middle school prior, then we'll start the high school at 7 and stay a little later, okay? Sounds good?
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate everybody's comments and
Yes,
suggestions and
thank
everything.
you.
And just to
And-
let you know that, I mean, the principals do update as much as they can update with their campus budget. So we don't just kind of let things go. I mean, we know we have PTSOs that do stuff. We have campus budget that do things. So it's always about enhancing the environment for our students first. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
If you're online, we are going to send you all the, it'll be the same kind of process for your other committees. So if you're on the McAllen Memorial Row Vertical team, you do have that process that we'll follow as well like we did today. Thank you.